like, why in the world would you even invite the girl in your freaking bedroom? She came up to the job looking for me because I was like, it's over. And so I got 2 kids and they won't let me do this video without interrupting me. So I kind of got to improvise. If you hear my daughter in the background, she's been tended to, and she has Camille. Okay, so I'm about to do the story time in my bathroom, and if you hear my daughter, she will not let me be, so please don't mind her. I got 2 kids. The little baby just went to sleep, and the big baby is with me, so bear with me. Anyways, I met my ex in 2014. I was in the 10th grade. We dated from there, and in 2016, that's whenever we both turned 18, but he turned 18 first. So he got his apartment first, and we happened to break up like maybe the first week that he had the apartment. So we broke up the first week that he had the apartment, and I moved in with my sister for like 2 months. Then me and him started getting back closer. We started talking, and that's whenever I found out that he was getting evicted, and so was his friends who also had an apartment. I was like, dang, both y'all getting evicted, but whatever. So we all ended up moving into his 1-bedroom apartment, okay? It was 6 of us in 1 bedroom. And it was awkward at times because I didn't know him well, but I wanted to be with him. I wanted to be with him. I hate saying that, but yeah. Anyways, we fell out with our roommates, and in January of 2017, we ended up getting an apartment in my name and one of the girls' names. Then I had to get a job. Yes, I got a job. Well, I did have a job, but I had to get a better job, a better paying job. So I got one at the hospital. And the first week of me working at the hospital, we got into this bad argument on the side of the road. We used to argue all the time and physically fight all the time. This one particular argument was about this girl who he was messing with. She kept calling his phone, and I was having an issue with that. Duh, of course. And that's what most of our arguments will be about, this girl who kept on calling his phone. And I was kind of tied into the lease. So, and I was 18 at the time. It's like I wanted to leave, and I did try to leave a lot of times, but then he would, like one time he actually caught me. I was going to go downstairs from the apartment and leave with my mom, and then he caught me, and we started fighting in the daggone road ghetto. But yeah, the first week that I was working at the hospital, we got into a bad argument over the girl. And before I went to work, I was supposed to head to work at 3 o'clock. Our roommates dropped the bomb on me, and they told me that it was one day in December I had to go to my sister's wedding. So I spent the night with her, and they told me that the girl was at the house, and that he didn't admit to anything. But you know, they're not about to be in the room just playing poker. He told me whenever I asked him about it, he said that he was trying to break things off with the girl, and that the girl wanted to wrestle on the bed, and that the bed was making noises because she was trying to wrestle him, and kept on playing with him while he was trying to be serious and break things off while they were in the bedroom. And I believed it. So, I mean, I believed it, but I was still frustrated at the fact that why would you be dumb enough to let the girl in your bedroom. And what do y'all have to talk? She just wants my attention. Ain't no tear in her eye. She's been fed and everything. Yeah, I'm like, why in the world would you even invite the girl in your freaking bedroom? So we got into an argument about that because he, I know the term now, gaslight. He was trying to sit there and make it seem as if I was being insecure. No, I'm not being insecure. Why would you have a girl in your bedroom while we're dating, while we're together? Anyways, I started getting pissed off about that, and he pulled over to the side of the road because a lot of the times whenever you confront him with the truth and he's trying to lie, he gets frustrated. He pulled over to the side of the road, and he got out the car and he started choking me. So I mean, he was a dude, he was stronger, he got the best of me, but eventually I did get out and we were tussling on the side of the road. It was so embarrassing. And then eventually, whoop whoop, the police came, of course. I'm like, why would you sit here and be fighting me on the side of a street where you know there are cars passing by and they're going to call the police? Somebody's going to call. I didn't want it to escalate. I can't talk. I didn't want it to escalate, but he couldn't control his temper. So yeah, the police stopped us. Nobody went to jail. They was like, yeah, we could press charges on him or on you if we wanted to. But you know, I guess they just let us off the warning. And his sister came and picked me up and took me to work. Yeah, so that day, around 8 o'clock that night, I was at work, I was on break, and I was like, well, you know that this means we're having no Valentine's, right?
Heart been broke so many times, I don't know what to believe.
Because he was texting me and apologizing, and I told him that to his face because he would stay at my job. So whenever I went to the cafeteria, I was like, you know, we're not having a Valentine's Day, right? And then that's when he started getting loud again. And I went to go and walk outside, and he was following me. He was shoving me. He was pushing me in front of everybody. And then I eventually went down to the basement where my department was, and he even followed me there. The security came and they escorted him off the premises. And that was embarrassing because a lot of people, it's a hospital, and the hospital, like any workplace, gossips, and gossip spreads fast. So I'm going to tell you about when he got hired there. Yes, he was hired at my job. The supervisor was like, look, I don't want no shit now. I don't need no shit between y'all two. I promise my baby is fine. She's just trying to get my attention, but I've been playing with her all day, so she's fine, trust me. But yeah, I was like, okay, we'll be fine. And we were. After he got hired, which was probably the next week, we didn't get into any more fights until the day he was fired, which was about 3 months later. He got fired because he was trying to switch to too many shifts. No, he was trying to switch to morning shift because I was about to be switched to morning shift. So we kind of wanted our schedules to be in sync. And then once the supervisor, she didn't want me to be on morning shift because basically she trained me. So she was like, look, I'm not about to have a good person who be working, who does her job. I'm not about to sit here and train her, then she's going to first shift. No, she's gonna stay on my shift, which I understood. So once he heard that I was about to go back to second, I never left second, but once he found out that the decision was made for me to stay on second, he wanted to switch back to second too, because he ended up working first shift the day that I had to go to my orientation. And I know it's confusing, but I started orientation 3 months after I started the job, because I started with a temp agency, and I was finally getting hired on permanently. So yeah, I had to go to my formal I had to get a formal orientation. Yeah, so that same day he got fired, because they also said he wasn't doing his job. I think he was talking a lot, which he did. He talked a whole lot. He was talking a lot and wasn't doing his job. Yeah, he was talking a lot and he wouldn't do his job, and I can't really remember what else. I know it was something else, but it was in 2017, so I can't remember. Anyways, whenever I came back, one of my coworkers was like, girl, he was talking to people on the back dock, showing naked pictures of you or nude pictures of you. And I was like, what? And then I heard it from a couple other people too. I'm like, why in the world would everybody sit here and lie? So I confronted him about it. And of course he was frustrated. So to make a long story short, again, he ended up he came up to the job looking for me, because I was like, it's over. And he knew where I worked. He came up to the floor and he started tussling with me after I got away from him, because we was like in the back corridors. So I went through this part of the hospital where you needed a badge to get in, and I went into a room where you needed a badge to get in as well. Somebody let him in. Somebody let his behind in, and we started tussling. And yeah, we was in the children's hospital too. So all the parents, once I ended up getting away from him, and I went back to the back part of the hospital that eventually led to where the children's hospital rooms were. And he was shouting and yelling, and all of the parents, the kids, the family members, the nurses, the doctors, they came out and they were staring. And I had to take the walk of shame, because I had to walk down the hallway to get to where I had to go. And that was very embarrassing. So yeah, he came. I don't know what I'm going to title this video, but he came starting trouble and he left starting trouble. But let me just say this. I'm not about to sit here and act like he was the only one who was doing wrong in the relationship. It takes two to tango. We would get physical, which is not healthy. I learned from it. I was 18. We broke up whenever we were 19. And I've been happy ever since. I mean, I still deal with things. Of course, I still deal with things. I dealt with things, but it's nothing like being out of a bad relationship. And yeah, I'm not angry at him. I forgive him. But I don't want nothing to do with him at all. And yeah, you live and you learn. I mean, we were young at the time. So I just want to tell this. I wanted to tell this story so that other people can just hear my experiences. And please get out of the relationship if your relationship is volatile like that. If you guys get into arguments, which leads into physical violence, don't stay in that relationship. Honestly, it's not worth it, because I got out alive and he got out alive. Ain't no telling if we would have stayed around each other what would have happened, because eventually I feel like people snap, and it is so many relationships that end in death. And I'm sorry to take it there. I know that's really morbid, but I'm telling the truth. Please get out of those relationships. I promise you, if I could get over it, you can too. You don't need that in your life. You don't need to carry that negative energy around you. You don't need to be angry all the time. You don't need to be making somebody else angry all the time. You may feel like you love them, but I promise you, if you guys are putting hands on each other, it's not worth it. Not worth it at all. But yeah, y'all.